The lie detector determined that was a lie. The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Okay, I'm being funny. Okay, guys. I feel like this is gonna be quick. I'm not gonna stay on here too long. Guys, take a minute and hit the like button for me. I um ask you to. Um if you would please, guys. I'm fading fast. I'm tired. I thought I would be able to do like a live, but I just got finished listening to Infamous Sylvia's broadcast, and it was really Sylvia is such a calm uh person and very sweet, kind individual. And look, she did a good job because she's got very good patience. And still, and what's her name? Sonia, excuse me. That woman is exhausting to me. Um, I don't, I think Sonia, okay, this is my first impression. So Sonia sits up there like she knows everything, but knows absolutely nothing. She says that what she knows is what's on the paperwork. But if he is denying everything, so how are you going by these affidavits and police reports? Everything is not going to always be to the letter. That's what the investigation for is from the prosecution and all of those things to present the case. Just because something, like there could be a discrepancy on the affidavit. Um, so something came up that the girl who got the vehicle uh from the teacher, the that whole situation where the teacher wanted the car sold and it was given to the SA victim. Turns out it wasn't the grandmother, it's the aunt. Who cares? At the end of the day, Nesta was supposed to sell a car. He got money from the girl's father, according to him. The car was never transferred. Monies were never funded. The matter of it's tomato tomato. You know what I mean? Um, there's just this is the deal. Sonia is not a good spokesperson, not even for herself. She is unable to answer a question without going into a whole entire story. Okay. She wants to tell you about something that happened in fifth grade. She wants to tell you about something happened in senior year. She's got a friend that did this. She knows someone who did that. Nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? Answer the question and stop getting your whole, like, we don't, you know what I'm saying? It's not to be disrespectful, but if you don't want people in your business, why don't you stop running people your business? That's what I got to say about that. You keep running people your storyline, you keep running people your life story, but then you don't want people in your business. Answer the damn question, and that's it. All you got to do is answer the question. You don't have to give um a an answer that includes a situation that something exactly happened the same way but turned out completely different, and because of that Nesto needs to be out of jail. Nobody cares. And every situation is different. Every police officer different, every investigator is different, every prosecutor's office is different. Atlanta is not the same Atlanta it was 3 years ago. You've got a completely different district attorney. You've got a district attorney now at the office that is post COVID. You've got a whole bunch of different circumstances and matters at play. And this woman thinks she is smarter than damn everybody. Okay. So she comes on Sylvia's program. I was about 15 minutes late. I looked at the clock at 7:45, and next thing I knew, it was damn 8:15. Okay. So I was gonna just be behind in the chat, but then I saw the chat was pretty lively. And I said, let me sit back. I threw it up on the the big screen in the bedroom, and I was just watching everything. And she was answering questions. They were talking about some things that we're very familiar with, the scenario with the teacher, the scenario with the real estate agent, why it's supposed to be civil. I mean, Sonia stays with her very same talking points the whole entire time. Um, and I'm looking at the chat, but I'm not clicking on anything because I'm trying to remember. I didn't take any notes. I was just sitting there enjoying as a member. It was a member perk, so it was a member only live stream recorded. And I think that that was a very good idea because it kept the chat more containable because it's possible a lot of people could have showed up and it would have been a little bit more, I don't want to say hard to manage, but even just from a standpoint of being able to read and get through a lot of the questions. But you can't force anyone to answer any questions. I was waiting for you to come and give us the tea. Okay, chef. Okay. Um, you can't force anyone to answer questions, and it is what it is. If Sonia happened to know who a question was from, she refused it. I think so she did not want to answer questions from Wisdom's daughter or grown woman vibes. She's felt like people called her out of her name. I definitely called her her share of side chicks, but I don't know if she equates Love Lies and Lace Fronts and Real Talk Bougie the same. I have no idea what this woman knows. And you know me, y'all know what I'm going to say next and don't care. Okay. I don't know what she knows, but I asked my questions and my questions got through. But Sylvia also said Lovelace. So she may not have um, heard like Love Lies and Lace Fronts, you know what I mean? Like whatever. But there were, if she heard a name she wasn't cool with, she was not answering the question. Okay. Which I think it's just a question, right? So she talked about the case. She pretty much admitted she doesn't know anything about the cases. She hasn't put any research into the cases. The only thing that she knows about the cases are on the documents. And there could be some errors on the documents, not necessarily about what happened, but maybe circumstances, dates. I mean, I think a police report is just that, or an arrest affidavit. There's enough evidence, or there's a situation that happened of a criminal nature. Maybe the details are, maybe all of the details aren't correct. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of experience filing police reports. But what I do know, if I were in a situation where I were standing up for someone and trying to advocate for them, that's what I would be doing. I would remember if I were ego driven or had narcissistic tendencies, um, and or ADD or something like that, I would have to have my talking points with me, and I would have to remind myself that I'm not here for me at this moment. I'm here to represent for someone and stand in the gap, right? And I would speak on their behalf regarding the situation, whether it's uncomfortable, whether it's health concerns, whether it's just civil rights, whether it's, we're unsure, like he's denying that anything ever happened, whatever it is, and whatever the reasons why you feel like you need to be taking interviews, I would stick to that. Ma'am takes every opportunity to remind us about her being sick and near death. She wants to have her little feelings hurt because she feels like people called her out of her name. That's life. That's being 55. That's being on social media. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, ma'am has her feelings in way too deep on something that really has nothing to do with her. This is about the man who you say is your best friend and that you are supposed to be running interference for, and also trying to create a positive spin for him regarding a very negative situation. But she can't help but talk about herself all the damn time. She was confronted about a couple of different things, specifically the smack. When Nesto was talking about Shirley not wanting to take her call, she's like, I don't remember. I don't know. I couldn't have been talking about that. To me, and I've said this a million times, and this is the reason why I said I would never interview her. And this is just me. I'm so glad that Sylvia did it because Sylvia's temperament was perfect to deal with this type of a situation because Sylvia really does stay very neutral, and she doesn't have, she's not emotional about it. Now, I know that I'm neutral, but I don't like dealing with people who are flexible with the truth. So that does aggravate me from a that would aggravate me if I'm trying to have a conversation with someone and they keep moving the needle as far as what's real and what's not. So she basically said she didn't even know what that was in reference to. And that's fine. Everybody's not going to remember every conversation. And maybe I should have bubbled up the timestamp from the actual phone call so that she could be familiar with the fact that when Nesto was upset because Shirley would not take his call in the restaurant and she was busy and didn't want to be called away, and she said that jail calls are important and that she should have stopped what she was doing to handle that business. And then she, under her breath, very slick and pick me ish, said, do you want me to smack her? And Nesto didn't even hear what she said. And we know that she said it to be flip and jokingly. Yes, we get it. But at the end of the day, you still said it and it's inappropriate. It can be taken as a threat. Many a truth is said in jest. And you do seem like that quality type of a person who, if he did tell you to go do something, you might go do it. You know what I'm saying? And that is very threatening because we have seen people before in the past. I could name numerous cases of people who went out capping for someone that they wanted to be with and thought that it was a good idea to commit a crime, you know, to get closer and clear the deck so that they could be in that situation. So you mentioning assaulting someone is not a joke. It's not a joke at all. It's not funny and it wasn't cute. But of course she's not copping to it. Absolutely, Amy Fisher. That's definitely one of the most I don't even want to say most egregious because there are people who have died. Um but anyway, she just I look, Sonia gave Sonia. You know what I'm saying? She gave exactly what I thought she would, which is glasses, which was nearsightedness, which was flexible truth. She stayed on her same talking points and storytelling and flipping the topic. And it was just kind of like, okay. Now, Sylvia did run through a lot of questions. Um, and I think the audience was pretty civil. Look, for a YouTube chat room, I think the chat did a very good job. The moderators did a very good job. Um, Nobody had to be timed out. None of that stuff. It was very civil. People expressed themselves. It was fine. I think it was, look, it was exactly what I expected. Sonia being Sonia, she answered questions. She denied questions based on how she felt about someone. If someone left her feeling some type of way or somebody said something about her, she didn't answer the question. You know what I mean? She's going to find herself depicted on an episode of For My Man, girl, and she should. Okay? As she should. Okay? Period. Um let's see. Uh all right, let me see what you guys look. I can't stay up too late. Let me before I'm gonna drop the call line, but you guys got to keep it to like 3 minutes, like legit. Just give your comment or ask your question because I don't want to. I'm a little bit. I probably have like about 30 minutes. Um, so Dre, according to Sonya, you know what I mean? Like I gotta say, according to Sonya, and if you could see me, I would be doing air quotes because I promise you, I don't believe a word this woman says. I'm not calling her a flat out liar. If I did, that's my opinion, and I can say that if I want to. What's it based on? Flexible truths. Okay. But I'm going to just continue with what I've been saying since the beginning. Sis is not a reliable narrator. I do not believe that she tells the whole truth. She may tell something that happened, but she's not telling the whole thing. That's why she always has to give us a story or a scenario. She can't answer a fucking question. She can't say yes, no, boo boo went this and da 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 that happened. She can't tell you shit. All she can do is tell you a damn story of something that happened that turned out exactly the way it should have happened. And that's it. You know what I mean? Like nobody wants to hear a damn scenario all the time. Okay. Anyway, but Dre allegedly stated to her and told Sylvia that he found her to be the most godly and the least messy, and I can certainly agree with that. As far, least messy, absolutely. And she I guess he just feels a kinship to her, and that's very cool. And she says that Dre said he would want to talk to Sylvia. And again, I think that's good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's very good. Dre seems to be look, some of the things that have been said about Dre, me personally, I've never said anything bad about him, I don't think. But at the end of the day, if people have to go and sit on panels that they feel comfortable with, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? So, if Sylvia takes that interview and books it, I'll be there to support. I'm a member on that channel and I support, and I think that she's does an amazing job, and she's a very calm person who doesn't get into the shits. Okay? So, absolutely. So, if he actually is coming, good. I'm eager to see him come to the YouTube streets, right? Um, and answer some questions because maybe we can get a real answer, but he doesn't know anything about Nesto's case, according to him. And even if he did, do you think he's really going to talk about it? And then from a standpoint of Shirley, for him to have a relationship with Shirley, you think that Shirley is going to appreciate if Dre is sitting answering questions about her? Probably not, right? So, what is Dre going to tell us? Maybe he can tell us about his past and Nesto early years, kind of things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will be there to support. If I feel inclined to ask a question, then I will. But that was the other information, is that Sonya basically confirmed that she spoke with Dre. Dre said that he would be open to having a conversation or doing an interview with Sylvia. And I think that that's great. That's a win for the YouTube streets. At the end of the day, people will say that they're not coming and then they come, right? So at the end of the day, him coming to the YouTube streets is he's coming to the YouTube streets. Okay. Um, all right. He said he's coming. So whether he comes, he books or not, we'll just have to stay tuned and see, right? I just don't believe that woman. I don't think that she's my opinion is I don't think that she's an honorable person, and she doesn't leave me a lot of room to believe what she has to say because I think she's flexible with her truth. Okay? It's flexible. Okay? And I feel like I until I get information that makes me feel otherwise, that's what my gut tells me, and I know my gut has never failed me. So, then she talks about this being like an evil world and everything's going down, and we as black people need to do this and do that. We as black people, see, I don't make a whole lot of these we as black people statements, and I really don't even want to start now. But let me just say this: people just need to stop lying. Okay, can I say that? People need to just stop lying. How about that? Okay? I don't speak for everybody black. I'm not trying to speak to everybody black. People can do what they want to do. At the end of the day, people need to stop lying. Okay? Stop lying to yourself and everybody else. That's my message, okay? To everyone. Okay? Cuz I'm not going to put on um people's, I'm not going to put that shoulders on all black people. All people have problems, okay? And I'm not going to just stick it to people of my uh my race or culture or anything like that. I don't believe in doing that. This woman finds everything wrong with black people and has so many damn messages, but this is the one who's got the criminal background. This is the one who is associating herself openly with a felon who has a laundry list of things to account for and seems to have her feelings hurt about every damn thing that people are saying on this internet when sis, reaction videos are not for you, they are about you. You shouldn't even be watching. So if you're tuned in right now, that's your problem, sis. Okay? Ain't nobody getting their feelings hurt but you. This conversation, nobody invited you to come. If you feel like you need to be in the bushes to listen, that's your business. But if your feelings get hurt, you shouldn't be tuning in. And I don't feel like I should have to repeat that as a black woman to another black woman that if something does not serve you, you should not patronize it. Okay. If you feel like this channel is not up to your liking and you feel disempowered, you feel like this channel does a disservice to you, don't tune in. It's not for you. Okay. I don't make the assumption that just because I am black, every black person is going to tune in. I want people to tune in. It's a view is a view, sis. I don't parse out people by race, okay? At the end of the day, the audience that needs to be here came and will come. And that's it and that's all. I don't do all that. That woman is so divisive. She's low key divisive. She likes to put out there all of this kind of dialogue about race when it's really very divisive. It sounds inclusive, but it's really exclusive. It's very, very divisive. And, there's just something about her. Also, maybe it's the fact that she's an atheist. I don't know. I just find, she and I'm not going to get her on her beliefs or lack thereof. What I'm going to say is this. She says that she goes by her instincts, but on many occasions, her truth is flexible. So if you're guided by your instincts, but you have a propensity to to flex the truth in whatever direction serves you, that just tells me you're not to be trusted. So I don't trust that woman's word. And if you're not a person of your word, I don't care who you are, what you are. I don't associate, freely, openly with people like that. So to me, um that's what she's giving. She's, like I said earlier today, I expected Sonia to be Sonia. I expected Sonia to give the Sonia show, and that's what she did. She came and she brought Sonia. She was very much under control. She didn't act wild. She was very collected in her lack of information, lack of forethought on her talking points. She was selective in what she answered. She took us on trips down memory lane with people we don't know, don't care about, didn't answer questions, and was selective about not answering questions to bloggers that she feels like she has an attitude with. So, I mean, that was it. So she brought it. She had on her ponytail. She also had the ponytail. Yes, ma'am. Yes, the ponytail was there for the interview. Let's see who's calling. Let me put up a banner because girl, we're not getting caught out there on tonight. Okay. Um, hello.
Hello.
Yes, hi.
Hey girl, how are you? Oh
Doing
my
good.
gosh.
Who's this?
Listen, this is Erica. I know
Oh,
we only have
hey.
3 minutes, so I'm
Not
going to be
wait,
quick.
EK, not Erica
Uh,
King. Girl, is
Kimberly,
this Erica
girl.
King?
EK for Erica Kimberly.
Girl, is
Listen,
this
I don't want to be
Candy? Is
caught
this the
up
Queen
in
of the
none of that
South?
stuff.
Is this the Queen of the South?
No,
Girl,
girl.
where's your Bentley?
Listen, you better stop. I am so weak. This whole saga has me. I First of all, I am hooked like it's nobody's business. My husband hates that I'm listening to this. He is like,
Oh
another
my
Nesto
God.
call. I'm like, please, just let me enjoy
Girl,
this.
if I wasn't
With you.
making a bag off this, I would have been banned a long time ago. Trust me.
Yeah, let me tell you, I'm making a bag all right. I am so, I'll say this because I want to be quick. Sonia's situation scares me and terrifies me because who the hell wants to be that woman at 55? Like, I'm
Mm,
shocked. I'm shocked. More so than that, my girl Shirley, like, my heart really hurts for her, but it has
mm,
me reevaluating everything that I am doing right now as a 35-year-old woman. Like, I am
mm.
trying to
Yes.
make sure that I am focused on literally advancing myself in the workplace, my skills, my career, and focused on my individual bag on top of what it is that I bring to my marriage. But I don't ever want to be either of these two women. So I'm trying to, like, listen, this, it's scary. It is just absolutely weird and creepy what Sonia is doing, but I'm
Mhm.
not surprised.
She's very creepy.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I don't have any respect for her at all, like as
Mm-hmm.
a human. I
Mm-hmm.
just have little respect
Correct.
for this particular, like, I don't respect what she's doing. I'm gonna say
Yes.
it like that. I don't respect what
I
she's
agree.
doing.
I
I
agree.
think that she looks silly.
Yep.
Um
As hell.
and she looks
The egg is
slow.
on her face. The egg is
Yeah.
already on her face. I'm like, it doesn't make sense to me. And I know
Mhm.
you didn't want to speak on it too much because no, we shouldn't beat people up for a lack of faith or belief, whatever. But she is not the one to be holding up any type of moral compass to other Black women, expecting us to do better. No, ma'am, you do better. Like, you knowingly were messing with another woman's husband, got the nerve to be okay with it, because we've heard calls where you were like, oh, well, now I can just move on like this, because it was never nothing in you that said, I want better for myself. Let me not mess with this married man in jail. You know?
Right. It's I didn't know, and when I found out I
Mm-hmm.
stopped, which I don't
Mm-hmm.
believe that
Mm-hmm.
because um I ran up a question and I don't think Sylvia saw it because I was like, "Can you please clarify, did she meet him at the truck stop? Did
Thank
she
you.
meet him at the club?
Thank
Or
you.
did she meet him on the street going into some real
Mm-hmm.
estate? Because I've heard 3 different stories, and there might have
Correct.
been one more, but I'm not those are the 3 that I can recall. Glorious, I see you behind stage.
Mhm.
I see single lady cooks, just, came in, so you guys hold for just a minute. Yeah, I don't have a lot of respect for that, just to
Mm-mm.
be honest. Like, I don't feel I look, I respect people's humanity, period. I don't think that she's, like, worthless. I'm
Yes.
just saying in terms of this situation, I don't have any respect for it, and girl, pick up your face and
Up.
exit to the left. Like, if
And
that's
the
what you
egg.
wanna do, you can't expect everybody to get on your bandwagon. If this is the bandwagon, the banner you wanna fly, ma'am, you're gonna just have to deal with the repercussions of it, and that is people talking about you. If you don't like it, don't tune in.
Don't tune in.
Don't
And I
don't tune
think
in.
first, well, for somebody who went on Tasha K, she has a lot of nerve. You know what I mean? Like, at this point, you're seeking the attention. A part of me thinks that she's working it for this, the purpose of Ernesto's defense. But I think that this is going to go very sour. And I agree with the comments that said she's gonna be on an episode of For My Man or something.
Mm,
Not
wow.
looking good. But yes, girl,
It's
I
not
love
looking good.
you. I love you. I love you.
Oh,
Everything that
thank
you
you,
do.
Erica.
I am so, I love this. I love this. And my husband hates it. And I hate that he loves it. I just love that he hates it. Cause I'm like, this is my,
Well, it is fun to
people.
have something just for you that you enjoy,
Yeah.
that you can have, you know, I mean,
Separate
he
from the
look,
real world.
yeah, I mean, it isn't like super duper positive, but it's not
Mm-mm,
extremely
mm-mm.
negative either. I mean, there are
Right.
some redeeming qualities about it. I mean, at the
Yes.
end of the day, it is good to be knowledgeable about what's going on
I
in the
agree.
legal system. It's good to have some awareness
Yeah.
about some of this negativity in terms of relationships and what can actually happen and go left in a marriage. So there are some things. It's not all about him being in Cobb County and being in jail lockup. I
Right.
mean, that is probably not
Mm-mm.
something he wants to feel comfortable with. But
Right.
if you focus on the different aspects of the story, it's like it's okay. It's
Agree.
like, dear, I got it. Like I'm not gonna
Mm.
slip down some
Yep.
nasty slope or anything. I'm good. I'm just
Facts.
enjoying the tea, you
And if
know?
anything, and I'll say this because I know it's other people on the line, but I'm hoping that for Shirley, that she does make this a redemption story. I do believe that other women, and she has a host of people who love and adore her, who are probably really rooting for her to come out and say, you know what? Been down, been bad, bounce back, and here I am today. So I really do hope and wish the best for her. I know that redemption story is for her. Girl, she is the Job that we are talking about. So
Okay. Yeah.
yes. Alrighty.
Absolutely. Okay, you take care. Thank you for
You too,
calling
dear.
in. Okay,
Bye.
take care. Have a good night. Okay. Okay, Glorious. I got you, sis. What's going on? Let me just say thanks to Shannon Dorsey. Thank you, Shannon, for making it official, sis. We appreciate you. Okay, thank you. Okay, Glorious, tell us what's on your mind. You were in there,
Okay.
weren't you? Because I feel like I saw a
Yes,
super
I
chat from
was.
you.
And
Okay.
yes, I was. And I was not going to do that, but I did. And I'm all over the place at this point. I'm just literally all over the place because um you don't know this, but this was like a little background. I had been on a thread over at Sylvia's channel uh all week, right?
Can we
Going
just
back.
I just wanna say one thing. If it's anything
It's not
regarding,
negative,
like, okay, just keep, because I don't wanna
not
get into
negative.
anything with anyone else's channel.
Right.
I have a lot of respect for my girl,
Absolutely.
and I
Me
just
too.
wanna, so if it's anything about, like, just as far as other subscribers, things like that. But yeah, tell your
Yeah.
story. I just wanted to preface, like, can we keep it cute?
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
keep it real cute because
that's the
it was
tone of tonight. Let's keep it cute.
just keep it
Okay?
cute.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but no, I had so much reluctancy about even going, so it was me, and I was going back and forth. Had so much reluctancy of watching the video, and it's because of past experiences and things like that. Because
It's
I've been married.
triggering.
Yeah, it's triggering. It very
Mhm,
much so. Been married before. Well, my I'm a recent widow, but I had been married
mhm.
before this one, my last marriage. And this dude was a Nesto Junior. Okay, let's just for real, just out there slinging it everywhere. So
Oh my god.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
but no, you know what? I quickly left that situation and then married a Jim. So, so had already always had this this kind of contempt toward the other woman aspect of a woman who knowingly messes with a married man and continues to, and just and it no with no guilt or anything about it. So I had that
Right.
kind of thing about the Sonia issue. So that's what I was going back and forth on that thread. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to join, but then I did join. And then I have it's another conflict because I too am
So
a
what was
Christian.
your question that you threw out? Because
I,
I saw you had a question, but I
my
don't
que-
recall it.
my question was does she honestly think that he wasn't guilty on anything? Because I joined kind of late.
Okay, I remember that. Okay.
Yeah, does
Oh,
think
okay.
she think that he wasn't guilty on anything? And because I'm trying to get what her defense is, what she's doing. I'm trying to understand what she's doing with this married man. And is she saying that she believes he's innocent on everything and that she's going to stick by him? And I'm trying to figure out why she's sticking by him. And does she not understand that this man is a married man and that she is uh, an adulteress with him? So that's what I meant. I'm all over the place, and that's
Okay.
where you know I'm
But
still
you
all over.
understand, number one, we can't save the world, right? And
Yeah.
even if you can get to one adulterous female,
Hmm.
it doesn't It's not going to stop. If she's ride or die for him and thinks she's in love with him or whatever the case might be, there might not be any, like, you know what I mean? Some people can't be saved.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, I do understand. I do understand that, but it's. I guess one of the things that I was getting so upset with her about when I was on the call is that there's no accountability, and I think that on that call we need to. Talking to her, we need to hold her accountable. We can forgive her, but hold her accountable. And there was no accountability.
Well, but first thing you said, the community at large, need to hold her accountable. I think there's a big check mark on that. Now, whether she will allow herself to hold herself accountable or to be held accountable is what remains to be seen. She is not holding herself accountable, and she is not allowing the public to hold her accountable because she refutes everything. But all the community can do is continue to share the facts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whether she comes to the light or not and admits, like, okay, well, even though I love him, I don't really know, and guys, whatever it is, I'm sticking with him. I would have a little bit more respect for that. But at the end of the day, flexible, like trying to make him innocent so you can feel good about supporting him. I don't have to like it, not like it. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, you're doing your part. You're holding her accountable. We can't force her to allow us for her to be held accountable. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing we
Yeah.
can do to make that happen.
Well, I kept hearing. Like I said, I joined late, and I kept hearing her
Mhm.
saying he's innocent. So I'm assuming
Okay.
you were on it from the beginning.
Mhm.
Does she,
I
did,
missed about 15 minutes.
okay. Does she think that he's guilty on
I don't think
anything
she answered that
other than?
question. I don't think she answered that question. I think she thinks this is what she said. Everything's civil. Okay. So she said he could be guilty of something, but it's a civil matter.
Mm,
She doesn't believe that they're criminal matters. She didn't say he was innocent. She said that some of these should be civil, and she didn't say that she thought he was innocent per se, but he could be guilty, but it could be guilty of a civil matter.
okay. Okay.
But SA is not civil, CP is not civil. So okay.
Well,
You know what I
I
mean?
would say that I was, like I said, I was one of the ones who said I was not going to do it, not going to join. I'm going to be on the replay. I'm, I'm
Well,
kind of
it's
glad
good.
that I did. I'm glad
Yes,
that I did. Yeah.
it's good because everyone's not going to always agree with us, and everyone's not going to always lay on the side that makes you feel most comfortable. So it's good that you were able to watch the program, support the channel, use your membership and all of those things. You can't let a Sonia, you know what I mean, her ignorance and her willful ignorance get in the way of you enjoying a channel that you have a membership with. You know what I'm saying? Look at it that way. Girl, you're a member over there. She's a guest and she's answering questions, and for us, right? Sylvia lined that up for the people. So
Yeah.
you went and enjoyed it. That's okay.
I did. I did. It was
Yeah.
less painful than I thought it was going to be because
Absolutely.
I, I,
Absolutely.
I was through. But
Girl,
anyway, but now
get your membership perks, okay? Don't let that girl stand in your way for nothing. She's the one out here doing the most, doing the least, okay?
mm, mm, mm.
So, but yeah, it was, I mean, I think that it was handled very well. Sonia, I think, Sonia gave exactly what I thought she would. You know what I mean? So, not a lot.
I do feel that she felt a little bit too comfortable though. I just, but like you said, I'm gonna keep it real cute.
Mhm.
I do
Yeah.
think she felt a little bit, because she, it was like I mean, it felt a little bit like a social hour, just a little bit, but I
It
understand
was it
the
was
way.
giving Q&A rather than
Yeah.
um I don't want to say not an interview because everybody's got their own style, but it was
Yeah.
definitely a question and answer
Yeah.
vibe, which was very, I mean, look, she, whether it was tell me about this, that, and the third. Sonia, I think it was better in the Q&A round simply because Sonia is not able to answer a question. If it went conversational, like let's talk about this, that, and the third, she cannot stay focused. She drifts into stories and scenarios and past history, and it's very annoying. So the best thing was what Sylvia did when Sylvia
Yeah.
rotated it to
Yeah.
just asking questions and then follow-up questions, because clearly ma'am has a problem um answering a question with one or two sentences
Yeah.
and being ready for something else. She goes adrift and it's awful.
Yeah, it is. I was like, okay, come on, let's reel this back in. But I also appreciate that the fact that it was a spiritual opportunity. I mean, because I'm a Christian as well, so it was a spiritual opportunity, and we never know. We never know who's impacted. So, even though I know she says she's an atheist, but we never know who's impacted, and praying for her doesn't hurt. So, I was
Mhm.
glad. So it was pleasant. It was pleasant. It was long, but it was pleasant. But I don't think that, I'm not sure what I gained from learning anything from her though. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Anyway,
Well, look, like you said, you were able to kind of get past your,
that part.
your roadblock. So that was a gain for you. And
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the end of the day, to me, Sylvie, like Sonia really to me exudes a very there's a negativity that resides with her that for me I respect that negativity, and I'm not even like, you know what I mean, like there's something about her that's very negative, and I respect that. I feel that. So I'm not, girl,
right.
I'm not getting on any knees.
Yeah,
I'm not doing anything. God's got this. This
right.
is this is bigger than me and anything. And I don't know her like that. I don't, yeah, I'm not, I I
Her
just,
her behavior warrants that. So I mean, and yeah, I definitely understand her behavior.
yeah, she's okay over there and I'm okay over here.
Okay.
That's
Well,
that's what I think about it. But yeah, I'm glad you were able to tune in because I think it was very good. I think Sylvia did a wonderful job,
think so
and I
too.
appreciate her bringing that to the YouTube streets because I mean, hey, it's Sonia, like, look, Sonia coming to answer some questions was a good thing. I don't have a problem with that at all, and I'm glad Sylvia brought that to us. I'm very much appreciative of it.
Yeah, I can't wait for Dre though. But yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be good too. Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Okay, well, you have a good night. I'm gonna
You
bring
too.
Single Lady Cooks up. So you have a good night. We'll talk
You
again
too.
soon, okay? All right,
All right.
take care.
Bye
Okay.
bye.
Okay, Single Lady, I got you next. Vicky, Fran, I absolutely appreciate how you are able to be this voice of reason and claims and calms many of us down and gives us the real word of clarity we needed. Look, thank you. I appreciate that. That's a very like high compliment. I appreciate that very much. It's very, very sweet. Um, I want to be impartial. I don't want to come and just give all of my opinion. I gave some of my opinion with Glorious just now because Sonia is very negative. She's very negative, and it's interesting how someone can bring so much negativity to people that don't know her and she doesn't know. And it's her inflammatory comments. It's the refuting the truth. It's the I think to some it's the I'm an atheist. It's just, not that you have to have religion or anything like that. It's just some of the things about her really brings a very negative overtone that rubs people the wrong way. And I respect that. I don't have a problem with her being how she is because she's nobody that I know. But I respect that. I'm not trying, like, I'm not going to expel any extra energy trying to reach someone like that. She can have all of it, right? Okay, let me let single lady cooks up. Single lady, how are you, sis?
Hey, friend, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing great. Can you hear me well?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, perfect. So, my YouTube name is LA Sanders 30. This is my first time actually on like communicating with you by chat this
Yay!
way. So I'm so happy to be here. Um,
Yay! Welcome,
I'm a
welcome,
proud
welcome.
member. I will be a proud member
Bougie
really
gang,
soon.
yes.
Yes. So I did watch the interview. I was very excited that I was off today from work. I didn't have to go
Good.
in for my
Okay.
night shift. So I was so excited.
It was a
Um,
treat. I
it
appreciated
was.
Sylvia
It
doing
was
that.
a
It was
treat.
very I was like, okay, membership.
Exactly. And I guess the question I kept asking myself, not asked myself this many times, why am I so attracted to this case? I love true crime, but I'm
Mhm,
more of like the behavior analyst part, like the
mhm.
psychology part of understanding
Yes.
why people
Yes.
do the things they're doing and what motivates them to do it, you know? And
Right.
so I think with this case, I have three subjects. I have Sonia, who to me now I see as more of a distraction, and she's
Mhm.
distracting us from actually looking at the entireness of Ernesto.
She's
And
not an
then
authority on the case. She's not.
she's
She's
not,
no one
she
to listen
really
to about
isn't.
the case at all. So you're 100% right there. Like you
Mm,
shouldn't no one should be listening to her about the case. Joey, what's up? Um yeah, no one should be listening to her about the case at all.
mm, you're right, but she's like a spokesperson.
Mhm.
And she's out front and she's flamboyant with her delivery. So it's like a distraction. You just see the red flags and you're asking yourself all these questions and you're focusing so much on her. And not that Ernesto is not guilty of his crimes that he has committed that are not the crimes that he's been charged or and charged with, just crimes in general with dealings with his wife or business dealings. And then there's Shirley. And so for me, I'm just like gravitated to this case. And I know she keeps saying, oh, this is such a vanilla case. This is nothing. This is boring. But yet you're trying to sell the story. So it's just like, I find it very difficult to listen to someone who tells me one thing and I clearly see that red is the color red, and
Mhm.
yet you tell me it's black. And I'm
She's
just,
duplicitous. It's
yes,
it's it's the it's the left side of the street and the right side of the street. She's selling two different things. Like when
correct.
she
And I'm
says,
like, why
"Don't
am I
listen to the
here?
calls, don't listen to the reactors or don't listen to the bloggers, but then you need to listen to the full call." Like, why are you listening to the calls? Okay, the calls are boring. No, but you need to listen to the whole call. And then, okay, well, I don't like the bloggers, but then you like certain like you know what I mean? Like it's like
True.
I think she likes all the bloggers, actually. She listens to all of us, clearly,
Hmm.
you know.
Hmm.
Okay, so what was the third thing? So she's duplicitous. And so you said there were three things.
Well, the other thing is, for me, the last thing is, I really feel like she's probably waited all her life for this attention.
Mm,
I don't know if she's been wanting to feel accepted. She talks about her size quite often. She talks about just the looks, and it's like there's some form of low self-esteem there, and
mm-hmm,
she tries to hide it behind the shield wall of I'm ready for this, I'm tough. I can be honest and say at times I deal with my size as well. I think most women deal with, insecurities. Excuse me. But for some reason, to me, it seems like she's been waiting for this attention. And she may have always received negative attention. So for some people, negative attention is positive attention. I know I
mm-hmm,
used to be a school teacher and I work with special needs students. A lot of those students, I would give them positive attention and they didn't know how to absorb it. Because at home, all they received was negative attention, being yelled at, being fussed at. So for some people, they strive and they get the energy they need in order to feel acceptance from negative energy. And I know you said that you feel like
mm-hmm,
she's very negative, And to me, that's the analytical part that my brain is trying to absorb, of understanding, why am I drawn to this case? And not only why am I drawn to it, what am I seeing in this person? So that when I go out into my life, and if I see this again, I would have a better understanding of their mental, I don't want to say creativity or mental stamina or mental capabilities. It just helps you as a person to use that discernment. And when you hear it and when you feel it, and you go. So I know in the chat, for my last thing, I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
People kept saying, stop judging, don't judge. And I found that very aggravating. And I think Grown Woman Vibe said, well, isn't there a whole book in the Bible called Judges? And I have a hard time with that, because God gave you eyes, He gave you ears, He gave you discernment, and He gave you a conscience. All those things you use to judge a person by. You judge a person by their character. You judge a person by what they say and they don't do, or what they do and what they say. So you're judging not to be negative toward a person, not just Sonia, in general. You're using your God given gifts to make a decision to protect yourself. And
Mhm.
so for me, I'm going to stop with this. I just find this case interesting, and I keep asking myself why. And that's all.
Yeah. Well, look, I think that Sylvia wanted to make sure that she kept it very like on track and it didn't become like a bash session in the chat. I think that it's very much okay to have your own opinion. I think it's okay to say what you mean, don't say it mean. But sometimes the truth is going to sound mean because someone's not going to like it, right? And I'm a truth teller, and I don't always have a nice filter, and I don't always clean up what I'm saying. At the end of the day, I think as women, we are always taught to be nice, and sometimes at our own expense and our own detriment. At the end of the day, if someone is out here lying, someone is out here being flexible with the truth, it is okay for you to state your opinion. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. If it's not appropriate at the time for you to state your opinion, then you just have to read the room. At the end of the day, the expectation was set on what the expectation was, and we have to respect that you're at someone else's house basically, right? And it doesn't mean that you weren't able to express yourself, but the bottom line is that you know what you know that you're not doing anything wrong. We are able to make decisions and make assessments because we have a brain, and it is okay. You know what I mean? So you're
Yes,
not
yes, yes, yes.
wrong to make a decision based on the facts and the data. That is what that's what juries do.
Oh,
Okay?
most
Juries
definitely.
use the facts and the information that were given to them to make a decision about someone's fate. That's what the grand jury is going to do. That's what a jury will do. That's what the prosecutors do. That's what the police. You don't have to feel guilty about weighing out the evidence. It's okay, you know, and so yeah. I mean, I hope that kind of answered your question, but I appreciate you bubbling that up. Is that everything you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I'm just excited to be here and that
Oh,
I could
thank
share
you.
my
We're
thoughts with
excited to
you.
have
I
you.
appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, look, next time, don't be a stranger and make sure to call in anytime. Absolutely.
Most definitely, you're my guilty pleasure. I work the night shift
Oh,
as a
thank
nurse.
you.
And so when I'm not doing my cares and I'm sitting down charting, I'm listening to you. You
You
keep me
listening.
up.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that so much.
All right. Thank you so much. I
Okay, take
appreciate you
care.
much.
All
All right.
right, see you
Bye.
later. Have a good evening. Okay, all
You
right,
too.
bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay, Chef, I've got you coming up next. Just one second. Let me thank Glorious. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate you. Let me wait. Oops. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, Glorious, thank you for making it official. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, Chef, Hi,
Hey,
Chef.
Fran.
How are you?
I am well. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Chef, do you have like a catering service or what is it? Tell us a little bit about your business, Chef, real quick. I mean, you don't have to tell us
Okay.
everything, but do you do personal?
So
Do you have a
actually,
catering service or what is it that you do?
so I'm a pastry chef,
Okay,
and
nice.
before the COVID, this is actually my old logo. I used to have a shop here in Staten Island in New York,
Okay.
and
Uh-huh.
after COVID, I closed. So, I had to pivot. So I started
Okay.
teaching baking classes and teaching people how
Nice.
to set up a business. So that's my old logo, but
Okay.
that's what I do in these streets.
So do you
Yeah.
so you don't do any kind of pastry chefing for
No, I teach
um
baking classes and I
okay,
teach them how to bake. So I
bake for fun.
no, I like to teach people who wanted to have a business. A lot of people,
Okay.
they everybody bakes, but what I've learned in culinary school, they don't teach us what we eat, right? So I just tried to elevate it. So I would teach my clients how to bake on a more of an upscale level. So we do like
Mhm.
gourmet pastries. So that's what I would focus on. But I've been
And
doing it
also
over
how to
15 years.
okay.
And oh yeah, and also how to start their business because a lot of people
Right.
they bake something, put it online, and how do you monetize that? So that's
Right.
I think it's funny. The last time I called, I was like, oh, she got StreamYard, but I used to use StreamYard, so I used to be online a
For
lot,
your
not
classes.
YouTube,
Okay.
right,
Mm.
online and going live and the whole marketing. So that's my story.
Right. So it's like, okay, you want to make $10,000 a month. That what are you going to bake that's $10,000 a month? So this is let's
Right,
get our $10,000 a month baking plan. You're going to make
right.
50 cakes, 400 cupcakes,
Right,
like make
but
out the
especially around the
whole
holidays, how do you
okay.
do that? How to don't just give me because your grandmother made this, right? So you gotta separate yourself from everybody who thinks they can make pound cake, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Right.
so with that, I
So
gave them the branding, the marketing aspect of it. So I wanted to come through. I'm not just, oh, she bakes in a house. No, I'm professionally
no, I mean
trained.
there's a method to the madness, even
Yes.
like what I do here on YouTube. I mean, I'm talking to you guys obviously, but behind the scenes when I'm looking at my analytics, when I'm thinking of what my
Yes.
goals are for my social media business and what I
Mhm.
want to see and the time that I want to put in and what I may think I may want to earn, there is so just like someone might be saying I need to sell X number of cakes, cupcakes, pastries, bread, whatever minus my overhead. Da, 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 da.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that
Yes.
same plan goes in into your media plan for the month on how
Mhm.
you're going to execute to deliver a product that people are going to watch and you turn it into dollars. So yeah, it's all businesses can all pretty much I wouldn't say they all run the same because they're, obviously there's differences, but when you break down those monthly business plans, yeah, absolutely. But
Yeah.
yeah, so interesting, very interesting and cool to learn that about you.
Thank
So what did
you.
you think about are you a member over on Sylvia's channel?
So I'm not a member.
Okay.
I'm subscribed, but
Mhm.
I'm not going to talk about your girl. I do like
Okay.
Sylvia, but I just feel like my sister's in your chat. My sister's a subscriber here, so I know she
Oh,
hears me.
nice.
Shout
Okay,
out
hey
to
sis.
what is she? Sassy Brown, I think she is. But what I feel about Sylvia, I took notes too, so I
You
can
mean
have a question
Sonia
for you.
specific? Okay. About Sonia?
Sylvia. Well, yeah, 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 yeah. Did
Okay.
I say Sylvia? Yeah, yeah, because I
Yes.
didn't listen, so I'll go back for the replay. So,
Okay.
okay,
I think she's
just
gonna put it out, but I'm not sure when. I can't really speak to that, but I think the plan was to have it on members, have it a little bit more manageable, and then I guess put it out later, I'm assuming. I
okay.
missed the first 15 minutes, so I'm not quite sure what the plan is, but I felt good to be able to see it, so that was cool.
Well, you know what's good?
Mhm.
I'm glad
Mhm.
I'm glad I'm on this channel because I knew you would talk about it. And I told my sister, I was like, "Ooh," I said, "Fran is coming on."
I was getting ready to go to sleep, but I said, "Let me," because I don't want to deal with this tomorrow. I said, "Let me." I'm sure it'll come up tomorrow, but I said, let me get it while it's fresh," because I was getting ready to go to bed.
Yeah. Well,
But
thank you for staying up with us. I'm not gonna
oh,
keep
you're
you.
welcome.
Thank you. I
Thank you
appreciate
guys.
that. Yeah. And when when you go off, I'm gonna call my sister and be talking some more. So I am also very vested in this is my guilty pleasure. My husband doesn't understand, but I love it. But one thing I want to say about
Sonia is, for Sylvia to say, I heard her when she did her live one day, and don't go crazy with the comments, which I get, and you have the opportunity to listen or not, or join or not, right? But
Mhm.
I feel like Sonia's been so messy. So how how does she get a level of respect when she's been so disrespectful? But to each his own, right? To each his own. And if that's Sylvia's thing, that's cool. But how dare you now demand respect when you've been so disrespectful? And I'll go back to watch to see, did she bring up how she called Sheridan out her name?
Oh
How
yes, people asked that question numerous times. Yes, that was
like,
that was asked, and I think she denied it. I think she said, "I never called her out of her Girl, look, Sonya's being Sonya. Um,
yeah.
I
But
think
that lip
Sylvia
thing
wanted people
happened.
to respect her channel, um,
Mhm.
and just kind of this is what I would like to see happen during, because nobody wants an out of control situation,
Mhm.
when you've got company or just when you're trying to do your live stream. It is very distracting when you see people arguing or anything in your chat. So I think she just wanted to set the tone for what she would like to happen. I'm not speaking for Sylvia at all. That was just my impression of
Mhm.
just setting the tone. That's how
Yeah,
I took it. I
and
didn't
that's
take it
cool.
as a smack on the hand or anything. I don't know that Sonia asked for any extra respect. I think Sonia has probably is very aware of, she seems to like that people don't like her. So I think she's very much aware of her cred out here on the streets. And I don't think that she doesn't like it because she shows up like every single day. Like
Yeah.
she's out
Yeah.
here. So for
Yeah.
her to be annoyed by it, I think she's the type of person that feels very comfortable in that hated space. You know what I'm saying? I don't hate
Right.
her, but
Right.
there are people that do hate her. And I think she's comfortable being in that space because she feels like she's so pretty, people don't like her. She's so this, people don't like her. She messes with
Yes.
people's husbands, people don't like her. Like she
Mhm.
does things for people to not like her, and she does things to be able to articulate how she feels like women don't like her.
Mhm.
But she's comfortable operating in that space.
Right. Right.
So that this is her space.
Right.
So for her to act like she would be uncomfortable with that, or she's on some higher ground, that's Sonya being Sonya. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So how, you know
And
what I mean? Like that's
did
she's not
Sylvia
reasonable.
did Sylvia okay, two questions. Did Sylvia ask her, or one problem I have is that Sonia dismisses that Nesto has messed around with all these people, but more
Mhm.
importantly, the 19-year-old girl, the young lady who was 19, yes, she is of age, but I think not to be outraged that he was messing with this young lady, and according to the calls, and never acts like that would be a turn off right away. That gives me creep vibes. And for her to be okay with that. So was that addressed? And what about the GoFundMe? Did they address that at all?
Okay, so I don't recall anyone asking about the GoFundMe. That would have been a great question. I forgot to ask about that. As far as the 19-year-old, Nesto being like, let's say a grown man.
Mhm.
So let's go back in time. He's 59 now. So let's just say he was 55, let's just say. And 19, yeah, I mean that's just
Disgusting.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Um, um Nobody asked from that perspective of older man, younger woman, sugar baby type thing. Nobody asked that. Um, yeah,
So
no one
that's why I
asked that.
think when you have an interview, it pays. And just maybe my standards from an interviewing perspective, I want somebody to hold people accountable. If we could watch Fox News if we just want to see people spew their nonsense. But I think what makes a good interview is when you push back and say, ask the right question so people don't feel so comfortable that they can just spew their lies. And you know, she felt comfortable. She played in the streets, the YouTube streets long enough, and she played in the bushes, so she knew exactly who to go to do that interview, which is great. But I just think it's one thing to be respectful and just kind of ask the questions and let her answer. But I also believe in holding people accountable because as a married woman, Sylvia's married,
Mhm.
that's crazy to me that you would sit up. I don't think I would want to even speak to someone. I don't care how hot the topic is. Like for me, I would never want to talk to R. Kelly. There's nothing that he could tell me that I want to hear. You understand? So that's just me and my values and morals. And to sit with someone, a woman like that, there's a special place in hell for people like that. And I just feel like for her to talk about Shirley, her daughter, the women. Did she even mention, you was like one of four that he was messing with? So
Right.
she's just so okay with all of that. So that's just my thing. I'll
I
listen.
think there was, I think Sylvia tried to really stick with like the case initially, but to
Okay.
me, um, and not even the case. I would say like the case of Nesto, like
Mhm.
in general, like, okay, what about this? What about that? Things like that. I think what I realized is how little she knows about the case. And I've said this before that the streets know more about the case than she does.
Mhm.
She is really trying to put her legal analysis on it, and Sonia's not bright. She's just not. She's not completely stupid, but she's not as well versed in the law as she thinks is. And I think that she thinks that she's super smart, and because she's worked in a couple of law offices, maybe she thinks she knows something. And I just don't think that she is as knowledgeable as what she's thinking in her head, because when she starts talking, it doesn't come off like you really know anything. And sometimes you have to be smart enough to know, you know what? I just know that there's a problem here and this is the deal and I'm supporting my friend. Like she's not even able to articulate from a standpoint of, you know what, I may not know the law, but I know that I'm supporting my friend and I believe what he says and da 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 da. She can't even be real for a minute and come
Right.
and talk to the people like woman to woman and say,
Right.
this is how I feel. I know we didn't start off right. And I know people have feelings about certain things, but this is really what's going on. And I feel like it's a disservice. He's been in jail for, like, I'm making a better speech. I don't even know this man.
Mhm.
And, to appeal to people's sensibilities to maybe grant him some mercy. Not saying that he deserves it, but what I'm saying is she can't even put together a couple of sentences to even make someone have a drip of sorrow for him. And everything turns to a conversation about her.
Mhm.
She is the worst spokesperson on the face of this earth. She's horrible. She
Yeah.
is horrible. She
Yeah.
does not do a good job and she needs to quit. Like at
Yeah.
the end of the day, she needs to quit because she's not doing the man any favors and he's going to end up doing hard time dealing with this numbskull because she keeps talking about the lawyers. She's shading what's her I was gonna say Hannah and Crail Lewis and all, like everybody. I mean, rumor is she's out here doing bad comments against Crail Lewis on the internet, all of
Mhm.
that. I mean, it's
Mhm.
just a mess.
Mhm.
Who You can't have a uncontrolled family member out here derailing the case.
Yeah.
Like
And I
I
think
I
to
think
be
it's
so
ridiculous.
brazen to do
Mhm.
interviews, to be so brazen and all we hear all the information. And I just personally think you know, I guess what really if so my question to you is did you learn anything that you didn't know? Because like she said when they played the tape, the phone call with them talking about, oh, we gotta sell a story. We all know the story now. So what could she say that would make someone, or did you learn anything new? That's the question. Did you feel like you learned anything that you didn't already know?
I'm thinking. Um I guess Dre is coming potentially. But as far as Nesto's story, okay, what I did learn is I think that whoever documented the story of the 19-year-old or the car situation where the 19-year-old's quote unquote grandmother was arrested, I guess that person is supposed to be the aunt of the victim, not the grandmother. But at the end of the day,
Okay.
it doesn't make it like somebody
Yeah.
still got arrested. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone, okay. They
Okay.
said aunt, someone said grandmother. Like, I don't,
Okay.
girl, it's
Yeah.
like,
At the end of the
okay,
day, he's still
somebody got
19.
arrested because of him brokering that deal
Yeah.
and all of those things. So it's okay. So it was not, see, there's a mistake. There's a mistake. Okay, there's a mistake. Okay. But that doesn't change the facts of the case.
Right. Right.
Like that's collateral damage to the crime.
Mm-hmm.
Just because someone documented aunt, like they're not gonna live and breathe by the arrest affidavit because that's not the full matter of the crime. That's a residual of the crime. Due to these actions, this happened. So that doesn't have anything to do with the initial crime. But yeah, whatever. That's the one thing. Did I learn anything else? That she's confirmed petty. If you've said something about her in the past and she didn't like it, she wasn't going to answer the question.
Mm-hmm.
So she's very much petty and she's very much aware of the reaction channels that are
Right.
getting play off of her.
Right.
And I think it's on some hate. Because her channel sucks.
Yes.
And now I'm being petty, but okay,
It's
it's
okay.
getting late and my
And
filter's off.
you know what it is too. She falls under the Virgo, right? But yeah, she's a different kind of Virgo. She's a different kind of Virgo because I feel like again back to the accountability. What's right is right. I know of some people who have messed with married people who were married and was cheating around, and I said something, right? I can have a comment about it. I'm not going to keep saying it, but I will say, like that's not right and it's not cool. And what I do is just don't even talk about the situation with them because I don't ever
Mm.
want you to think that I find it acceptable. But yeah,
Right. There's people out here that you like them, but maybe you don't share. Like, yeah, it's one of those where you kind of have to
yeah,
just agree to disagree, or we agree that we're just not going to speak on this topic to keep things good. Like, absolutely. Yeah, I don't.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I've and and that's a respect thing. That's a respect that you like that person, you have respect enough for that person that you know what, this is something we can't
yeah. I don't
agree
want to hear.
on.
I don't care if y'all went out, girl. Let me tell you where we going. I don't care. I
Girl,
don't say it.
no.
I don't bring it
Yeah.
up. I don't ask any questions.
Girl,
It's
good old
not cool.
fashioned, you're dead to me. I
Yes.
don't think everybody understands that, but if you're not from
Yeah.
like New York, New Jersey, Connecticut kind of thing, you don't really understand to the depths of you're dead to me. You're
Yes.
dead to me is you are
Mm-hmm.
dead. Like
Yeah.
I who?
Yes.
What?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Don't
Yes.
ever disrespect me. Don't even bring up that name to me.
Yes. Yes.
Ah,
Yes. Yes.
you're dead to
Yes.
me is real. Okay.
Yep. 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 So I don't
Sonia
know if
is
you have
not
anybody.
necessarily dead to me. I know for some people you mentioned Sonia's name and people don't want even like reactions. I don't care about, but she's part of the story. She
The
is
story
part of the
is
story.
a great
So I do
story.
have to kind of agree to disagree on that with a lot of you guys who don't want to do like Sonia a little bit because unfortunately due to Nesto's lack of social skills, he has one friend. And if we're going to listen to his calls, it's unfortunate. She's the collateral damage that we have to deal with. She's just someone that we have to work through. I don't give her, like, to me, she's not that important for me to give her a bunch of energy. I just know,
Mm-hmm.
and I just know this is how, if you want to know how I deal with Sonia, like for those of you who can't deal with Sonia, this is how you get to deal with Sonia. Okay. Sometimes we have to remember that when you don't trust someone, instead of going with our training to try to find something good and a good quality and something to hold on to, just understand that if you don't like her, you don't trust her. Just trust that you don't like her, you don't trust her, and leave it right
Right.
there. She's
Right.
just someone who, when she enters the room, it's dun dun dun. It's and that's okay.
Yes.
She
Yes.
is the unreliable narrator, and the unreliable narrator she will be. Don't try to make her into believable. Don't
Right.
try to put her on a pedestal. Don't try to make her have a mea culpa. Just
Mhm.
leave her be.
Mhm.
She is not to be trusted, and that is it. Now, are you ever, if you see a rattlesnake, are you going to say, oh my God, but it's blue? Oh
Right.
my God, it's such a
Uh-huh.
beautiful color. Look at those beautiful scales. Or, oh my God, if Christian Louboutin made me a pair of shoes in that skin, oh my God, it's a snake. It's a
Right.
rattlesnake. I don't care how beautiful it is, how how it's just sitting in the corner. It's going to kill you if you get close enough or if you let it sit in your house. It's a snake is a snake is a snake, right? And that's it.
Absolutely.
You got to
Mhm.
trust what it is and be okay with that. And then you can put it in its place. For me, Sonia is in her place of the unreliable narrator. That's her title for me that will always be.
Mhm.
She's not reliable. I cannot trust anything she says because she is flexible with the truth. And when I rest in that, she doesn't bother me at all.
Mhm. And
I
that way
can
you don't have any expectations.
my expectations is for her to not be reliable. That's my
Right, right.
expectation.
Right.
She's
Right,
not
right,
reliable.
right.
She's at
Right.
some point she's going to like something that she said on Thursday. See, I've been on the YouTube streets for so long dealing with people who say one thing on Thursday and another thing on Saturday. I've been watching these mommy channels for years. There's a
Mm.
lot of YouTubers out here who make a whole living off lying. So
Mhm.
Sonia is not new to me. If you watch my other
Okay.
channel, I have 2,000 videos on women who do YouTube who one day it's this and one day it's that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm,
I've
mhm.
dealt with people like this on the YouTube streets for years. I've making these observations, watching these videos. So Sonia is very familiar to me because that is a very, that resides in social media, the people that live in filter world, the people who live in I'm
Mhm.
pretty world, the
Mhm.
people who live in oh, I'll just go run to the bank and go grab some money. Meanwhile, you can't pay your rent. Like
Yeah,
the
right,
people that
right,
live in
right.
fantasy land on the internet who have a bigger personality and bigger credibility on the internet and who are absolutely nothings and nobodies in real life, right? Um, uh, it's like this is the internet. A lot of the
Right.
people who don't like do this to the degree that I do, it's you know what I mean? You might have a very nice group of YouTube that you watch, and for her to be like a real person is kind of mind-blowing, but
Mhm.
she's delusional.
Yeah.
Like congratulations everybody, you have now encountered someone who is actually delusional. Like
Yeah.
sometimes we use that word because of a situation. This is a situation that is. This is a person that is. It's not just something that happened. You see what I'm saying? Rather
Mhm.
than like a situational delusion, this is a life of delusion, right? Or delusion on this, with this person. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. To me, I can deal with her just fine.
Okay, okay. And I'm
I
glad
know
you
it's
played
hard
the
for some
calls.
people, but I'm able to put her into because I don't want to be emotional over someone I don't know. Like she
I know that's
can't,
right.
you know what I mean? So for me, she's just a character in this story, and I think she's actually very entertaining.
Mhm.
Um, I think if most people who are annoyed by her could really flip it, you would find her quite funny. She's funny, and people like her don't like to be laughed at. So I think it actually would get on her nerves more knowing that we find her as part of the entertainment show rather than take her so seriously because the disdain is what she thrives off of. She's a very
Mhm.
negatively motivated person,
Yes.
and
Yes.
that negativity makes her feel big because she's small. You understand?
Mhm. Mhm.
And when we give her that much credit, it makes her feel very puffed up. But, people who kind of bring her down to size like grown woman vibes. Like she said
Mhm.
that bougie girl. See,
Oh, did she call
she
your name today?
yeah, well, no, she said it before, but see, she didn't know. I was in the chat as Love Lies and Lace Fronts, and I don't think she made that
Oh, okay.
connection. She's not
Okay.
that smart.
Okay.
She's not
Okay.
smart. Like she probably hasn't even put two and two together that I had two channels. And now maybe she's watching, now she knows. But she answered all my questions, but I don't think she
Mhm.
knew it was me. And Sylvia said Lace, she said Love Lace. So, she said my name a certain way that I don't know that still that Sonia really knew that I was asking, that it was me, the bougie person, asking
What
the
question
question,
did you what
because
did
she
you
don't
ask?
like me.
What,
Oh, I
what did you
asked
ask?
about what did I ask about? I did ask about, did you meet at the truck stop, at the club, or did you meet on the streets? That question did not get answered.
Oh, okay.
True to me, you have such a calming demeanor. Are you sure you were never a teacher? No, I wasn't. Always appreciate listening to your commentary. Virgo says, thank you, true to me. I appreciate that so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What else did I ask? I asked several questions. I ran a few up on Super Chat. I asked about the smack. The Do you want
Okay.
me to smack her? And
Mhm.
she kind of totally dismissed that. Of course, she doesn't remember, and I'm
Mhm.
sure I was joking. So I sent the link.
Mm.
I sent the link to the short that I created with her saying that.
Mhm.
And she's like, I'm sure I wasn't talking about smacking Shirley. They probably pulled that from me saying something else jokingly. And that was, I was just like, I'm
Wow.
just, like, and I had
Okay.
to remind myself at that moment,
Okay. This is what she
this
does.
is what she
And
does.
she's
So,
consistent. So if
girl,
anything,
move
nothing
on.
else,
Next
she's
question.
consistent. Yeah.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
was just like, girl, I did ask, is it like, because we know that it was confirmed for us, and we do know that they are chatting under different pins. So I asked,
Mm.
what pin are you guys chatting under? Is it William? Is it Julio? Which one is it? And so yeah, Sylvia asked that question. Sylvia is funny because she asked the questions with a straight face. It was funny. Um
Mhm.
and Sonia was like, why you want to know? Why you want to know?
Okay.
Because
Okay. She ain't got nothing.
we want the tea.
Right. 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 And real last question, because I don't know if anybody's waiting, but
No, no one's waiting right now.
did
Mhm.
it was on like a video chat. She wasn't in her home, right?
She
Video chat.
was this is supposed to be where she lives. Like, you know what I mean? I have a hard time even putting anything to
Okay.
fact. Allegedly, that's where she rests her head. I don't know where that was. That could have been her daughter's house. That could have been anywhere, but I think she was at home. I don't know for
Okay.
sure.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Sassy
And
Brown is in the chat. Sassy Brown,
that's
you
my
have been
sister.
identified as
That's my sister.
Chef's
Yes.
sister. Yes.
Yes.
Chef
Yes.
has
Yes.
called you out. The
Yes,
sisters are here.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, we gonna talk
Yes.
later. But
Okay.
last question, and I appreciate you putting the calls back on from I don't think I ever listened to the first and second call.
Now, the
Um,
first one I hadn't I mean, I think I've listened to it in passing, but I didn't listen to it with the streets. And I don't think PCAFP has put that one out. But I
yeah.
could be wrong. I feel like I'd
I don't
never
feel
heard
like I
that first
heard
5-minute
especially
call.
especially the second call where he was talking about his son. So, I like
I
that because
think
now
they
it gives
cut
us
that out. I think that, PCFP and
oh,
sometimes
okay.
they will put out something and say this is the complete call, but they
Mhm.
definitely there's a journalistic kind of editorial aspect
Okay.
to
Mhm.
their delivery.
Mhm.
Also, I think just to make sure, this is a business for a lot of us, and to make sure your video gets monetized. I mean, if you have something like that, it could hit a flag. So
Okay.
maybe that was just a decision for them to want to
Mhm.
omit that part to not be offensive to anyone. But for me, and this is just speaking for me, I'm not speaking about that at all. What I'm saying, anyone's decision to cut that out, because that language can get a video demonetized. That's number
Mhm.
one. Number
Mhm.
two, you know, but I do believe in people. Like, this guy is not a good guy.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm okay with putting that out because it was fine for me because it's the truth. And at the end, and it's the truth from the standpoint of that's his truth. And
Yes.
people need to know what type of person he
Yeah.
is and
Yeah.
how he talked about Sheridan. He talked about that lady's daughter. Obviously, I mean
Mhm.
Shirley. And
Mhm.
you don't think he's talking about his own?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's true.
let's be fair here in knowing that Nesto is equal opportunity, does not give a
Mhm.
shit about anybody's kids. He doesn't give a shit about his kids, and he doesn't give a shit. So if he doesn't, like, no one should really be surprised at him cussing or the way he feels about Sheridan when he has such evil, vile things to say about his
Yeah.
own. That's my point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
But in, to phone calls from prison's defense, they are doing, they're doing a very editorialized,
Mhm.
stylized, they do a nice edit, they play
Mhm.
music. You know what I mean? So it was raw and uncut.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was.
You know what I'm
It
saying?
was.
So, like
It
I said,
was.
it's not a me versus them or anything like that. It's just this was raw and uncut, and but yeah, Nesto needs to be exposed to a certain degree because people need to know and not get it twisted at all that this is not a good guy.
Yeah, yeah. He really is a creep. Just all around, just all around. So, he's getting his just due. So he's in there for a reason. Whether they holding him in there longer than he should be and he should have a bond, but nonetheless, he's getting everything he deserves. And when you
Yeah.
listen from the first
Hmm.
few calls, oh, he's so energetic and confident. Girl,
Yes, he thought he was getting out the next week.
he sound good and terrible now.
He's like, "Oh yeah, my time's almost up. My time's
Yes,
almost up."
yes.
And I think also too, as phone calls from prison was getting into, learning about these people and introducing them to us, because that's really what they did.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know that they knew how this was gonna unfold. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no.
They're learning about these people just as we were. And I don't know that what we were gonna learn about Shirley and her husband and how bad this was gonna get. But from the
Mhm.
beginning, I mean, damn, from the very first call, you can't not know that he was involved with someone from okay, the
Mhm.
first call, maybe not so much, but by the second call, when he said, "I miss that good ass putty,
Yes.
and
Yes.
thank you for letting me fill on them boobs," and
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
So
And she
is
just
she going to
cackling.
court? You're asking me, is Sonya going to court? Oh, I think uh so Sylvia did ask her, is she going to court? But the next bail hearing is on Zoom, so everybody's going to that. I mean, that's gonna be on YouTube. That's Judge Manning, and she does everything on Zoom. She gonna be at the house, and we gonna be
Mhm.
at the house. So now, as far as his trial, that he's got to get indicted. So is
Yeah.
she gonna go there to support? I don't if I were her, I don't know, girl. I don't know. We didn't ask that.
Okay.
Um, it's on to me, if she shows up in court, it's going to be on to me, it's going to tell me how serious you are about him,
Mhm.
whether you're
Mhm.
there to really support him or not. Because yeah, I don't know. I don't know if she's gonna go or not. I would be interested, I'd be interested to see if she's gonna be there. But yeah, I don't know. She didn't say whether she was going to he has to be indicted, so we can't really say anything because he's, all of the lawyers in the background are like, he hasn't been innocent until proven guilty, due process, and we don't really know. So we can't really put him in court yet. But as far as the next hearing, that's gonna be on Zoom. So is she gonna support in the flesh? She's going up there for visits. I can't wait till these video visits come out.
Oh man. That's gonna take us through the next year. That's gonna
I
take
can't
us to
wait.
2024. Yep. And I always wondered why Shirley, and maybe because of her um positioning, right, that she wouldn't go to the court, or maybe felt like, I'm not going to, I'm not going back
I
to
think we
jail or
saw
visit.
her in court. We saw her in
I
court.
don't think that was her. I don't think that was
Okay,
her.
well, okay.
Right when
I
Sylvia
thought it
was
was
there. Is
her.
that what really?
Yeah,
Okay.
Sylvia wasn't sure if it was her because she turned the camera and said, "Guys, do you think this?" Sylvia wasn't sure,
Mm-hmm.
and she filmed her and said, "Guys, do you think that that was her?" Because she wasn't really sure. And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's her," but her hair was messed up. And people were like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh no, her hair's always to the T." Well, Sonia said when she sat down, she was told to take a hat off. So she took her hat off and her hair was messy because it was, I don't know if it was windy that day or it was raining that day, but she had a hat on and she was told to take the hat off in the
That's
court,
so that
right?
you saying that Sonia went
No,
to
not
court?
Sonia, Shirley. Shirley.
Shirley. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Um,
Okay.
so Shirley was in the court. Now Sonia, I don't know if she's been there or not. I don't know
Okay.
that they've had very many court dates, like
Okay.
at the, like live court dates.
Mm,
But I don't know if Sonia's going or not. I
okay.
mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely vested in this, but I don't really care if she goes or not.
Right.
I'm
Right. Right.
I'm more interested in like, ooh, did Shirley show up? Just from a standpoint of is this still supporting or what? You know what I mean? Like we know Sonya's gonna be there if she's got enough guts because I think she's
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of a lame. If you really down for your man, then you should be there. But we'll see if she's really there for him or not,
Mm-hmm.
because she'd have to run the risk of running into Shirley and also running into maybe some of the public and
Mm-hmm.
knowing that she's hated and that she's all talk and no action. Not saying that she
Right.
needs to get into an argument with anybody, but what she's going to have to understand is that there's a negativity element that she has attracted and has that she has played with out here, and that some of these people are real people out here on these streets who might
Right.
be like, "Hey, whore." I mean, that happens, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, look when Megan the Stallion got out of her limo to go into court for Tory Lanez.
Right.
People were, "You're Megan, why you
Right.
lying?"
Right. Right.
People were,
Right.
and I was like, "Don't talk to Megan like that." I
Mm-hmm.
love Megan the Stallion, but people were mad at her because
Mm-hmm.
they were she their boy was in jail
Right. Right.
over that situation. People don't even believe people believe that the doctors were paid to file false reports and make
Mm.
fake medical history that she was never even shot.
Really?
I mean, yeah.
Wow.
Well, what about the people that think that Creel Lewis is filing false documents with Shirley's name on it? Come on, some of
That's
y'all
suspect.
come on now. It's getting late.
I
Come on
think
now.
I wonder. So when Nesto said the lady or them people said they didn't do that, I'm not really clear if I
Nesto
feel like
barely got his ass out of high school. Nesto, look, Nesto, I think, wants to preserve his relationship with Sonia because he thinks that that's all he's got left. I don't know if intellectually he understands that Shirley writing a statement means nothing for his relationship with him and Sonia. So for him to deny that Shirley ever wrote that letter,
okay,
so what?
okay,
Like that
okay.
letter would actually help him. He's a
Mm-hmm.
dummy.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way he's making that sound is that his lawyer, the ramifications of what he said is throwing his lawyer under the bus, that his
Mm-hmm.
lawyer somehow would have forged or created some sort of false document with his wife's name on it. Why would you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if that's the
Right.
truth, then I guess that's the truth. But why would you do something like what's in it for Crail Lewis? He's not getting paid any additional money. You think
Right.
that he's going to just make up a document and have it notarized and forge Shirley's signature saying that she wants him to be able to bond out to her house or wherever he chooses to be? Like, what is the point in him forging that? And why would you say she never wrote that? These two people are not, like, you can't really believe what they're saying. It's to me, it's like, I just can't. I'm not going to allow myself to be frustrated by the rantings of an uneducated felon. You know what I'm
Now he's
saying?
funny.
Who's
Yeah, I
for his
do.
life. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's grasping at straws. He's The
He
funny
really
thing,
is.
yeah, I mean, the funny thing to me about Nesto is that he's going to kind of go with whatever suits his purpose at that moment. Like when Sonia was reading something to him and she goes, "You were in California." He's like, "Yeah. Yeah, I was in California in
You know what?
2019."
When you said that, let me tell you something. So when I listen to you, sometimes I listen on a replay, and I listen with my AirPod at night. My husband's laying there. He thought I was asleep. When I tell you I was cracking up when you said that, I had to stop and I tried to keep it in. But what you said, because whatever, oh, it sound good. Yeah, I was in California.
Yeah, I was
When
wherever I need
I,
to be.
yeah, when
Those
I
2
tell
are
you.
comical, okay?
You
Like,
said that. I was cracking up.
I'm
My husband's
telling
like,
you, if
What's
you
going
guys
on? What's
let it
going on?"
just let it go, all of the but you said last week, look, I let me tell you, some of my beat on YouTube have been some of the most notorious liars on the YouTube streets. Let me tell you something. You got to just be like, you know what? This person is a liar, and liars do what? Lie. And
Mhm.
that's it. The truth
Mhm.
always comes out. I've had people even just, old good old YouTube streets drama, just like how Funky Dineva,
Oh
that whole
yeah.
thing was getting
Oh
ready to
yeah.
spill over.
Mhm.
Like they was getting ready. Look, I'm not accusing Tasha K of anything, but Tasha K's name was up in something a few days ago, with
Mhm.
Storm Monroe and Funky Dineva, and it was getting ready to be some YouTube beef. And Funky Dineva just said, "Hold up,
Mhm.
I'm not in it.
Okay.
Find
Okay.
somebody
Yeah.
else, and I'm not
Okay.
playing with y'all." And
Uh-huh.
shut it down and went back to
Okay.
business. And that's exactly what you do when people are
Mhm.
trying to. So my point is when you've had this type of experience on YouTube is very it's a very interesting situation. I did not know that this is how it operated out here until I got out here, and even found myself in similar situations on a few occasions. And you got to swerve. You cannot
Mhm.
engage. You cannot engage, or
I've
else you're
never
in
been
it.
on
You
I've
are
never
in
been
it.
on YouTube this much.
Oh,
So I just want to
girl.
say I've never ever my
YouTube is
sister
a
is in the
mess.
YouTube
YouTube is
streets.
very messy.
Yeah,
It's
my
extremely
sister
messy.
knows the YouTube streets. I'm new to this.
Mm.
I'm new to this.
It's
So
very messy, and the best thing to do is stay in your own. That's why I'm like, don't get me in it.
uh-huh.
I
Right. I
stay in
got
my
you.
own,
I
my
got
very own lane. You know what I mean?
you. Mhm.
Because it can get very messy
Right.
quickly.
Right,
And
right,
the
right.
best thing to do to keep yourself cool is to just, you know what I mean? Um, and we know that liars lie, Kelly. Okay. Thank you to Single Lady Cooks. Thank you so much for making it official. I appreciate that. um and yes, Cat Williams, yeah, we never got a chance to really talk about Cat Williams, but if Cat Williams didn't do anything, Kelly, so Kelly Wordy reactions, Kelly does react. And what I Kelly, whenever I watch your channel, it just reminds me of when I used to commute to work, because I used to have a very long drive to work. But yes, Cat Williams, and we know liars lie, and that's it. Sometimes we just have to. I just think that a lot of people's brains just want to find the good and the truth, but again, we just have to trust what we know. And if you know that you're with a snake, they're a snake. You know, just
Yeah.
you can put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and all of those things. So some of these people, Nesto, mm-mm, no. I mean, I'm eager to hear what the prosecutors and things have to say. Brian Kohlberger sitting up there in Idaho talking about he didn't do it. You know what I mean? We didn't see his form in the Hyundai, but come
Mhm.
on, you were out. Ain't nobody living that, like nobody lives out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Nobody lives in that part of Idaho,
Mhm. Mhm.
and nobody has that car. But you
Yeah.
were out at night driving around. You were following those people on damn social
Mhm.
media.
Mhm.
You and your
Yeah.
dad look weird as I don't know what. You were out there throwing out stuff at 3 o'clock in the morning at your parents and thing. I mean, they got you on all kinds of surveillance, but he's like, I didn't like he's maintaining his innocence, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
what can we do? We're just gonna have to let it play out. They said
Right.
they got the phone records.
Mm.
I mean, what is he? Oh yeah, I committed quadruple homicide. Like,
Yeah,
if you think
yeah,
he was really gonna give it to us that
yeah,
easy,
yeah,
he's gonna make
yeah.
these people work for that
Y'all gonna work
conviction.
for it. Yep. I'm gonna waste your
And
money.
if he's
I'm gonna go to court and waste everybody's money, and they still gonna feed me and clothe me and house me. And yeah. Meanwhile,
Well, and he's
unalive.
egomaniacal. So he
Mm-hmm.
wants some of these people like to see the things play out. They want the experience. You
Mm-hmm.
don't get the full experience pleading guilty and going
Right.
straight off to the state pen. You get to see people running around collecting evidence. You get to hear
Right.
about them tearing up your apartment.
Right.
You get to go ahead
Right.
and deplete your parents' damn retirement account.
Mm-hmm.
Mommy and daddy are crying. He's a weirdo.
Mm.
I mean, this is devastating for people, which I don't think, you know what? I think he's got a public defender. But still, even that girl, Jamie Komorowski, I don't know if you go and watch over at Phone Calls from Prison,
Yeah, I've
the girl.
listened to some of her calls. Yep.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so uh, uh, I mean, where do you start with there? Her family couldn't be any nicer.
Yeah.
Her
I like
family
the father though. I
loves
do like the
her.
father. I like the
The
father.
father, they're so
He lets her
Jersey, aren't
know.
they? Oh my
Yeah, the
God.
father lets her know that she crying out her eyes, and he basically like, well, you got to deal with it. I haven't listened to all of them, but the early calls I thought was interesting, and I like that he told her the truth. He's showing support and love, but you did this, so whatever you
Right.
get,
This is your situation. Like, we're
yes,
gonna have to eat this one. Like,
yes,
we love you and
yes,
everything, and we're gonna support you, but you know,
yeah,
this is I mean, and that's the sad thing for Nesto. Isn't that interesting if you kind of compare and contrast? Instead of Shirley co-signing, oh, it's a black man driving a Bentley.
mhm.
Shirley, them cars was in repossession, sis.
When Nyla did like a video where she kind of summed up the situation. She talked a little bit about Erica King, and just to see Nesto, he looks such and sounds like such a different person than when you hear him on the call. So it does raise an eyebrow. How was he able to fund? Even if he took all his victims, he had all those cars in the what do you call those things? The not the SUV. What do you call those things? The motor coaches.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Just
how
even
is he able.
maintaining that stuff is expensive.
Yeah. So that was interesting. It was just interesting in the way, he sound different. He sound different when he had a few
He
dollars.
sounds like he had a stroke or something. I don't know what's wrong
Yes,
with him.
yes, yes, he does. Some days it sound like he don't have his teeth in. Some days you could
Girl,
tell when
he was
he
trying to
was not
make
having
that
a good
ambulance
day.
into like a tiny home, like one of those, like the people convert the sprinters. He was trying to
Mhm.
convert that ambulance into like,
Oh my goodness. Yeah, something happened to him because he sounds very different than he sounds in those videos. Very different. Yep, very different. Mm,
it's a mess. They're very entertaining.
yes.
Um, I just leave it at that. Like, the fact that Sonya is bothered by being called a side chick it's hilarious to me.
Yeah.
It's like, ma'am, what do you think is going on? Are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah. What
you
do
are,
you think you put?
yeah, stop playing with us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't get to give us the nickname we call you. Like, stop
Right.
it.
Right.
You shouldn't even be watching.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I say. Don't watch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But very
Anyway,
consistent.
this was so much fun, guys. Of
Yes,
course, I
yes,
came on
yes.
here for an hour and I've been on here almost 2. Like, it's just, but
I'm
you
gonna
guys are
hang up.
fun
So
though.
what you close. Thank you for taking my call and taking this time. And I'm gonna keep
Absolutely.
listening. And I know we'll talk again.
Absolutely. Okay, you guys take care and tell your sis, Sassy Brown, I'm highlighting on her right now. You two are funny. So you two take care and maybe next time you guys call in together. That would be fun to talk to the
Oh,
sisters
okay.
together. Yes.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
That'll be cool. That'll be
Did you
interesting.
bring her
Okay.
in or you brought her into this or you guys found it together? How did that happen?
I think she knew about Love, Lies, and Lace Fronts. And I was like, oh,
Oh,
girl, she
nice.
got another
Okay.
channel.
Thank you,
I said, she
sis.
got another channel, but she knew about the other people. So this is the only thing I really follow. I don't listen to
Mhm.
everybody else.
Okay.
And the only topic really,
Okay. That's
so
okay.
she had the information. So she'll mention somebody I'm like, oh, I never heard of that person. So the YouTuber she knows, I don't really know. I know you.
Okay.
I know not. So I don't know a whole lot, but she brought me into the YouTube world. She's been in these streets
Oh,
for a while.
good. Okay, she brought you in, girl. It's just a
Yes.
matter of time now. It's just a matter of time before it's like, girl. Look
Yeah.
what I'm watching.
I'm telling her, I texted her. I was like, I told her, I said, Sylvia got it for the members. I said, but that's okay, because we call you Fran. I was like, Fran
Uh-huh.
gonna come on. I know Fran coming on. And sure enough, when
You
I saw
guys
it go
sent all that
live,
energy, got me out my bed.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. When I saw it live, I said, she on. Talk to you later.
I had to, because I'm not going to be able to, like, I'll go to sleep and I'll forget about everything. See, that's the Virgo in me. It's like, okay, I'm done.
Next, right?
Wake
Next.
up. Yeah, it's on to the next thing the next day.
Mhm.
So yeah, I was just like, let me talk about it now, and then I can just, I can have a clear mind for tomorrow. Um, because it's kind of hard for me when I have so much that I need to talk about. I just
Right.
get overwhelmed, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna chill today.
No, I get it. You gotta make a firm decision with yourself. I get it. Like, I'm not doing that today. So it's okay. I get it.
Right.
I get it.
And then
Yep.
sometimes when you have so much on your mind, it can make you tired.
Yes. Yep.
So it can
Yep.
just overwhelm your brain and you need to just relax. And then I just have a bad habit of, what did I want to talk about again? So I have to
Mhm.
take like copious notes sometimes, or voice memos. I kind of have to always have a list. Everybody is cracking up in the chat. You guys are so funny. I have to keep all kinds of notes and memos and lists to make sure I get everything done that I want to, because sometimes when I am really in like the moment, I get so much like inspiration or just content that I want to do,
Mhm.
and I have to write it all down or else I lose it. Like
Yeah.
when I get very creative, I have to like write it all down, because there's just so much I want to get done. And then but yeah, that's what happens to me, and then I can make myself tired. So I was kind of in that this evening a little bit, because I was thinking about several different things, but I was kind of good because I was like, oh, I'm in a good place. I got everything done I wanted to do this week for the most part. And then I'm hearing this conversation and I'm like, I should go talk. And I felt like maybe once this week or earlier this week or something, I said I was coming and I didn't. And when you guys start commenting, Fran, are you coming? Or you said you were coming and you didn't show. And I feel bad about that. So I don't like to do that. So I said, let me get my behind up and go talk to everybody for an hour and then take my behind to bed. So I like to
Well,
be
I
a woman of my
appreciate your
word.
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think that's a Virgo thing. I try to stick to what I said I was gonna do. I
Yeah.
might be a little late, but I'm here. Right.
I
So I try to
mean,
stick to my word.
I think when we get older and older, the more, and then also the more that people look to us, your word has to mean something. So I
Yeah.
do feel that that is something that's important to me. So I don't want people to feel like, oh, she ain't coming. I don't ever want anyone to
Mhm.
feel that way about me.
No,
Not me.
and that's probably, I'm sure, part of the reason that you stick to it. You show up on a consistent basis, so people tend to look for it. If you were a channel like, oh, she said she was coming, and they don't expect it, people would stop showing off.
Girl, if I became
Coming in.
unreliable,
Yes,
right,
yes.
and I don't
Mhm,
want to be unreliable. Mm-mm.
mhm. Yep.
No,
Mhm.
because
That's
this.
the killing part.
Yeah,
Killing part.
this thing is too hard. Like, building up your reputation and then also YouTube channel. I mean, it's just a lot of work to let it fall by the wayside, to
Mhm,
have your audience feel like you're not trustworthy or not reliable.
mhm.
So, yeah, no.
And I'm sure it's a lot like the behind the scenes. You come on live, but you give us clips in the background, so that's good. To keep us
I
entertained, so
used
that's
to get
good.
dressed, do hair, put on makeup. Girl, I'm like, that's why you guys see my avatar now. Cause
But let me
I
tell
was like,
you,
I cannot do all that all the
I didn't
time.
know that was a thing. So when I would do my trainings, I would have to do my makeup. I would go live, and if I would have an event, I would just come on live, like the marketing part, quote unquote. So every week or every day, whatever, come on live. So I'm like, oh, let me put my makeup on. And I was like, I didn't know I could keep the camera off. But
Girl, once I
YouTube,
really absorbed that, I was
oh
like,
yes,
it's
yes.
very easy to get caught up in Avatar a lot. And I do like to come on live, me. But it's just so much always going on. The dogs are running
Mhm,
around, or my
mhm.
family is just living their life. And
Yes.
I like to be close to the kitchen. So if I have the camera on, I can't guarantee like I'm not in my office, like my real office
Mhm.
versus up here in the homeschool area that's right off from the living room. You know what I mean? Like I also have to respect like my family's living their life, so I don't want to
Right.
have all that on camera and everything. So I don't know. It's just easy to not have the camera on. Plus, because I do talk other topics, this is not just focused on me. For me, I feel like it's easier because we are looking at videos sometimes, or we're looking at news stories and things like that, or we're just talking. It's not necessarily relevant for me to show my face, but that's just me, you know. But sometimes I do need to I need to commit to doing that at least a few times a month, just to connect in a different way.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, and you guys see my face every now and again, but I mean, I show up on like Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that sometimes, but sometimes it's just easier for me as kind of like a busy mom,
I get it.
um that sometimes I just don't feel like getting all the way dressed up, all the time. But on the days that I am, I probably should, because sometimes I am sitting here perfectly like, okay, I should just turn my camera on, but then
Mhm.
I'm like
Mhm.
eating some soup, or
Mhm. But it works. You do what works for you, right?
I'm
So
trying
this
to
is the way.
multitask. Yeah,
Yep.
because if you guys saw me eating it, like it's different if I'm on mute eating a sandwich, but if I'm on live, I can't eat. And I
Right.
may have just, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I am legit multitasking, because if I held back, I wouldn't get certain things done. And sometimes I like really need to eat, or I really need to do something. Sometimes I'm multitasking. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm obviously always paying attention, but you can't do the same things that you can do with the camera off, that you
Mhm.
have to do with the camera
Mhm.
on, because it's a whole nother level of engaging with your audience.
Mhm.
So that's a whole different thing. But now that I've talked about it, I'm probably gonna need to show up one day this weekend, in the flesh. So I will.
And cute pic. I like the pic that you put
Oh,
up there.
thank
It's a
you.
cute
This
pic.
is
Yes.
just I was just driving. You know what? I think that was on my birthday. I was riding around with my husband, and I just caught some light. So, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, okay. But I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna keep you. I know
Okay.
they're like, if chefs don't hang up their phone, but
I
I
know, right?
definitely will be calling back. I definitely
Sometimes
will
it
be
just
calling back.
it's like that. You get one call that ends up going longer, and someone is bound to call before I hang up this line. Girl, I was playing the outro the other day, and someone called in. I was like, we closing up right now. So, but anyway, it was so nice talking to you.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right,
Definitely
you
will
take
speak again.
care.
You have a good night. Good night,
Okay.
everyone.
All right, see you later. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, guys, that was so much fun. You guys are amazing. Look, let me say this. Like I said before, Sylvia's live was amazing. So I don't want to make any I don't want to leave any um my review out of that. I thought that she did a really good job, because for me, I'm just going to be honest. I don't know. I would never be rude to someone who comes to my platform. If I invite someone to my platform, I would never be rude to them. But I'm going to say this. I think Sylvia did a wonderful job, and I think that she was well suited to do it, because she's such a calm person. And she set the groundwork that it would be a respectful situation. And I feel like Sonia got what Sylvia set for her to get. I don't know that she got what she deserved, because Sonia has been very rude out here on the YouTube streets. She has come through with fake accounts and her own account. She has left rude comments for people. She has been nasty and belligerent. So nobody out here is um you know, no one should feel bad for having feelings or having judged her, because she's done a lot out here for people to feel some type of way about the things that she has done, just from a engagement standpoint on the YouTube streets. But as far as her coming and answering questions, it was entertaining for the evening. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that was the best environment, because I don't know, um I was just, yeah, it was fine. I enjoyed myself. So I appreciated the content. I appreciated her putting this interview up, and I enjoyed it, and it was a fun chat, and I hope that when you guys get to see it, you will enjoy it too. There were lots of fun questions. You guys who did not get to see it, I'm sure are going to be like, "Yeah, yeah, oh my god, they asked that question." Like, there was lots of good questions asked and all of those things. So it was entertaining, right? Sonia is not to be taken seriously, in my opinion. Anyone who wants to take her seriously, feel free to do that. But in my opinion, it was entertainment, and she was entertaining, being her goofy self, okay, with her ponytail and her glasses and her acting silly and thinking she was running something, when she was denying people access to ask her a question, all of those things. Girl, see, she's silly. Um, so let me see. My word is in everything. Absolutely. Um, okay, guys. Yes, we are closing up. It is closing time. Okay. Um, thank you to everyone who did their membership tonight. You guys are so sweet. All of the super chats. I don't know if anyone sent a Cash App or not. Let me check and see. If anyone did, I just want to thank you in advance right now. Let's see. Okay, no, I think we're good on the Cash Apps, and that's fine. I thank you guys so much. You guys do a lot already anyway. So thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys have a wonderful evening. This was so much fun. And let's do it again tomorrow. Um, and that's it. Okay. Have a great night. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Have a good night. Bye.